God made me a Ghanaian. People come from other countries and succeed in my country. So why can't I succeed in my country? So he kept going back and said, can I see your face? And I kept thinking, what do you want to see my face for? I went completely against the tide.
And I'm sure everybody looked at you
everybody looked at me like,
you didn't have...
crazy?
Yeah.
We had to sell the event to the industry.
Because they can be quite skeptical,
yes.
I can imagine.
Oh, they were very skeptical. Oh,
who gave you the biggest headache?
South Africa is a big place for tourism for us. So we are quite sad with what is going on now, because now we feel that the biggest show of 20 years. Okay. And that show was proceeding smoothly. Then we just saw this crowd moving on stage and something and a gun and all of that. They were like,
before the applause, before the red carpets became culture, Theresa Ayoade was building the stage. Through Charterhouse, she helps shape Ghana's entertainment imagination. From Miss Malaika to Stars of the Future, Night of a Thousand Laughs, and the Ghana Music Awards, creating platforms that gave stars their shine and turned moments into national memory. A Stanford Seed alumna, board leader, Rotarian, and institution builder, she has built far beyond events. Even when the Stoneboy Shatawale controversy almost brought the brand to its knees, she kept building. This is the woman behind one of Africa's biggest entertainment brands. This is Voices of a Continent. Thank you so much for joining us at Voices of a Continent. We're so honoured that you're here to join us and talk to us about your journey. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited for the conversation because I have a lot to talk about.
Can you kindly tell them a bit about yourself?
I am, first of all, I'm a Ghanaian and I'm married to a Nigerian. I have two beautiful kids, a male and a female. And I would say that my contribution to society is basically in the creative space. So I am a creative entrepreneur, and I'm very passionate about the creative economy and creating opportunities for creatives to thrive and to be able to contribute their full quota to society, to economic development, and into every community they find themselves in. And that is my number one passion. So aside of what I do for work, aside for the fact that I'm a family woman as well, I am also a very social person. I'm very fun-loving. I'm very adventurous, and I like to explore new ideas. I'm a creative thinker. I like to think up, dream up things, and not just think and dream, but to do as well. So I'm a go-getter.
And I think it's sometimes it's difficult with creatives because a lot of creatives also live
in your
up
head.
Here, you know. But then
I do that a lot.
but being able to articulate it and it being tangible for people to see is also quite a feat.
Yes, that is one of my strengths. Yeah.
Well,
so I think and I do.
Perfect. Then you're in the right place because everybody wants to get to know you that bit more. And so the person that you are, you're saying that you're a family-orientated person, and you mentioned a little bit about your children, your husband being Nigerian. Can you expand a little bit about your private life?
Well, as women, we have our careers to pursue, but we wear a dual hats, isn't it?
Yep, we do.
Yeah, we have to pursue our careers, and we also have to be present as wives, as mothers, and as nurturers. I came from a middle income home. My dad was a banker.
Okay.
And my mom was a seamstress.
Lovely.
And I had great aspirations of becoming a developmental banker because a developmental economist, I should say, because I wanted to work in the World Bank. I wanted to solve world problems.
Wow.
Because
at that age,
as a teenager, because I loved economics and I felt I could do a lot. I could be very impactful in the world if I could become a developmental economist.
Amazing.
So that was my dream. Okay. So I applied to study in the UK and I got admission at the University College of London.
Oh, wow.
And I started there studying economics.
That's an amazing
as
institution.
an international student. Unfortunately, in Ghana's political history, there was a period where there were coups and all the political upheavals that took place. My father got caught in that.
Oh.
And that affected finances because there were assets frozen and so much persecution that went on around that time.
Yeah.
So here was I in the UK studying and
living your best life.
Living my best life in the UK, and the funds just ran short, and all the challenges the family was going through back home, etc. So basically, I had to truncate my education. I tried to work for a few years. I did the first year. I took a year out, thinking that things would sort themselves out and I could go back. And things didn't sort themselves out. I took another year out, and then you couldn't take more than 2 years out of
of uni.
So
they gave you
back.
that period, and that was it.
2 years, and I couldn't still solve the problem. So I said to myself, what do I do? And it was quite interesting because at that time, everybody was trying to get out.
Yes.
So people were,
trying to find other
avenues. So here was me. I'd found myself in the UK, and yet I was saying to my parents, I'm coming back home. What are you coming to do?
For what?
Everybody's
There's nothing
what
here.
are you coming to do? You are there. Find your way. And I was like, nah, the kind of life I want to live, the kind of vision I have for my life. And I look at my state now in the UK and the path I'll have to go through to get to where I want to get to. I think I'll be better off in Ghana.
Interesting.
So I went I went completely against the
tide.
And I'm
sure everybody looked at you.
Everybody looked at me like,
you didn't
are you
have
crazy?
Yes.
You should be here. You should stay. You should, But I said no, because I had a plan. I had like a vision.
Wow.
I had a personal vision. I knew the kind of life I wanted to live.
And once you see that, everything else pales into
significance. I wanted to live in a big house. I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to explore the world. I wanted to really be able to contribute my best to society, make an impact.
Especially on the continent.
Yes. in Africa, I really wanted to do that. And I was looking at my situation, and if I came to study developmental economics and it's not working, what can I do? Maybe I should just go back home. I can go to Legon. I have friends in school in Legon. I can still go back to Legon.
Please, where did you go to school prior to Legon?
Secondary school was in Achimota School.
Achimota, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you're in safe hands.
And I was an A student. So I knew my worth.
Good.
That I had so much to offer. And so if it wasn't working here, I wasn't going to stay there at all costs.
And you had options.
Yes.
If you came here, there was options.
Yeah, so I was like, let me go back to Ghana because Ghana is my country. God made me a Ghanaian. People come from other countries and succeed in my country. So why can't I succeed in my country?
Fantastic.
So I'm going to go back home. And if I can work as hard as I'm working here, if I can put in my all in Ghana, I know I will make it.
Right.
So that was the step of faith I took. When everybody was getting visas, trying to, come to travel and leave the country, I was packing my bags and coming back home.
How old were you at that time?
How old was I? I think I was about 22. Things were difficult at home, so I didn't want to come and be a burden. So if I was going to come and go to school, then I had to be self-funding.
Got it.
So I had to, first of all, get an income.
Right.
So I called up a few friends, and a friend of mine said, I have a shop in Adabraka. If you don't mind, you can come and sit there and, get to meet. I said, no problem, I'll take it.
What shop was that? What kind of shop was it?
It was a lighting fixtures.
Okay.
A lighting fixtures shop in Adabraka. So Adabraka is like a commercial district.
Yes.
So I said, no, why not? So I took the opportunity and I started going to the shop. And someone would think, why would you want to go and sit in a store, because that's not.
And it's also not where the action is.
But I just need to get out of home.
Yes.
I need to get out of home.
Having that routine, going to work.
Then going to work.
Is important.
Because I've been doing that in the UK. So I need to get out of home. I need to meet people. So I just went and sat in the shop and got to meet people coming in to buy, because it was a lighting fixture shop. You had all sorts of people coming in. People were building for their homes. People were building for their offices. People who were doing interior decoration in government contractors, etc. So I was meeting so many different people. And while I was in the shop, I used to also listen to radio a lot. And that was when private radio had started.
Okay.
And so I think Joy FM had just been given its license.
Right.
And they began to broadcast. So this was around 1996, 1995.
Okay.
I came back in 1995, and I think I joined. So I decided to, I thought, I think I like chatting with people. I like talking to people.
And hearing stories.
Yeah, I like to, interact with people. So I would like to work on radio, doing interviews like what we're doing now, having a chit chat. I'd like to do that on radio. So I went to Joy FM, I asked around, and I was introduced to Mr. Kwesi Chum.
Yes.
And
legend.
Yes, legend that he is. So I spoke to him about what I wanted to do on radio, and he said, well, okay, go and let them test you. So I think I went and I read a few announcements and stuff like that. And they said, no, we don't think you're fit for that. But having seen your CV and some of the work that you've done in the UK, I was working in retail.
Okay.
Yes, I used to work in the Gap store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've seen that you've worked in some sales. I tried to try your hands at sales. I said, no, I want to do presenting. I don't want to play music. I don't want to read announcements.
You want to talk.
I want to talk.
Converse.
But talk radio hadn't started then. It was all music. Then. So there was no fit for me then. So I was like, okay, let me try my hands at sales. So he gave me all these books. I went home, read them on radio sales, etc. And I came back and I said, okay, I'll do it. So that's how I transitioned from the shop to radio.
So you were really groomed by Mr. Chum?
Yes. I was.
Wow.
He took a chance on me.
That's wonderful.
I walked in, I spoke so intelligently and boldly, and it was like, if you cannot do what you came to do, why don't you try your hands at this? And he equipped me with all
good advice,
all the information I needed, a quick training basically. I mean, going through all the papers, the materials he gave me, I felt I could do it. So I said, fine, I'll start as a radio sales executive. So that's how I joined Joy FM as a radio sales executive.
Interesting. So that was your first media.
That was my introduction to the whole creative industry. I never growing up ever thought about it. Never even imagined myself in it. Never envisioned myself in it. But when I found myself in that space, then I realized that I really was a creative. I could come up with great ideas of what we could do on radio. I was able to bring in some innovations and how we could do things differently.
Right.
And
it was taken on board?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that was in the very early stages of radio. It was very exploratory. So so long as you had a great idea and you presented it properly and you were able to then do the marketing to support it, because an idea on its own, it's not going to happen.
Right.
You need to find the funding to make it happen. So if you have an idea, you have to look for sponsors, do the production.
This is what young people need to
put
hear.
it on. So it's not just about saying an idea or sharing an idea. It's about actually thinking through it from A to Z, how to make it happen.
So now I'm starting to see the dots connecting with your media role with Joy and Charterhouse. So can you just tell us about that part of your journey?
Great.
Yes.
So while I was working at Joy FM, a colleague of mine said, oh, there was this Nigerian company that had come to town that was organizing an auto show.
Okay.
So he wanted me to work with him on the project because I was very good at proposal writing and budgeting. I was very organized and strategy minded. So he said, I would like to work with you on this, help me to do the proposal and the budget and the structure and all of that.
Again, is this Mr. Chum?
No, this was a colleague.
Okay.
At Joy FM. So I did all of that for him and I said, what's in it for me? He said, oh, I'll share my commission with you. I said, fantastic.
Good. What's in it for me?
Yeah, so let's go and do the presentation. So I went with him to do the presentation, and lo and behold, it was this fine Nigerian man.
This is what I want to listen to, right?
Who was ready to, who was the client at the time.
Okay.
So I remember talking about the presentation, and there was this, there were these huge Pentium computers,
Yes,
the big box.
Yes, it was like
So
a suitcase.
I think he wasn't seeing me because I was behind it and I was talking. So he kept going back and said, can I see your face? And I kept thinking, what do you want to see my face for? You should be hearing what I'm saying. Listen to me. It's not
about your eyes, it's about your ears.
Anyway, but that's how we met.
Interesting.
We met on the job. So
interesting.
So we met at that meeting.
This was in Ghana.
In Ghana.
Okay.
Met at that meeting, and luckily enough, he lived in my neighborhood.
Okay.
So that was a chance for him to stop by after work. Can I give you a ride home? Mm-hmm.
Yes. when a Nigerian man knows what he wants, he goes for it. I have to give them their props.
So
absolutely.
So that's how we just got chatting the ride home to work every day.
Every day.
Every day.
And are you able to disclose which part of town, which part of Accra were you living
I was living in New Achimota. And he was living in that same area.
That.
So it was just coincidental.
Well, it's
so
divine.
It's
divine.
I'll pick you up, drop you off at home, and sometimes he would come and have to wait long hours because of the work. And,
really? Oh, he knew exactly what he knew.
So, that's how we connected.
Wonderful.
And that's how I met my husband.
So how many years ago was that? Sorry.
27 years.
Wow.
Ago. Yes. So I met a Nigerian in Ghana.
It's so funny. I met my Kenyan husband in Ghana.
In Ghana as well.
So I think here is, ladies, if you want to meet your Pan-African husband, come to Ghana, because clearly
Ghana is a magnet.
It is. It's a melting pot. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So we are already practicing ECOWAS before everybody started.
Right.
So that's how we met, and then we got married. Mm-hmm. And interestingly enough, he also was a creative, but he had a finance background.
Interesting.
And he had he was developing. He had some ideas. He had a book full of ideas.
Okay.
Like creative ideas.
His own.
Okay. He had like a whole big pamphlet full of ideas. I think you should talk to him one of these days.
I would love to. I would love to.
So I was in radio, I was in media, and he had this book full of ideas, and I was going through the books, and I was like, wow. So I began to pick the ideas.
It's amazing how the dots connect there. Huh?
I began to pick the ideas and I implemented a few of them even while I was at Joy FM. I mean, for example, like there's now this early morning sports segment on radio that everybody does.
Yes.
I introduced it.
Really?
Yes,
You're the pioneer of that.
I was a pioneer of that because it was one of his program concepts. So we took it up and we packaged it for a company called Koscharis.
Oh, yes, I know Koscharis.
Yeah,
yes.
So the program was the Koscharis World of Sports.
Okay, they were the sponsors.
They were the sponsors.
Okay.
So we called it the Koscharis World of Sports, and it was running on Joy FM. That was the first sports highlights program in the morning show. So we introduced it, and then that has become a fixture now in every morning show for radio.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like if there isn't a sports segment in the morning, then there's something not right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was that. And so many other interesting concepts that we introduced. So he opened up an agency, an advertising agency.
Okay.
He left the company and opened up an advertising agency.
Here in Ghana?
Yeah, here in Ghana. Mm-hmm. And I was working in radio. So we were kind of collaborating.
Brilliant.
And then he started producing a show called Agro.
Yes.
It was a local language game show to promote Western Union across the country. So I introduced him to media, and then he now developed that TV program.
Interesting.
So that program became a huge platform that was going around the country, promoting cultural knowledge, entertainment, and it was a big platform for most young artists to get to tour the country. So as soon as a young artist released music,
that would be the platform.
Sign up onto the platform and they'll be taken around the country on a road show.
Fantastic.
So that's basically how we got introduced to the music industry. So this one of these agro shows, he was that's when we had this rivalry between some two top artists. I think it was Achiami and Lord Kenya.
Oh yes.
Those were the two artists who were arguing backstage about who would have the most fans when they announced on stage to perform. So I think he just watched them and saw them arguing, and then the competition and fans will show who was popular. And he felt that Ghana's music industry was really, that was a time of hip life,
right?
And our industry had moved ahead of the Nigerian industry
at that time.
At the time, we had Hip Life started.
Honestly.
That was a whole youth movement.
It was.
It started in Ghana.
It was.
Because there was, apart from the High Life and the Burger High Life, there was a gap.
Yes.
And Hip Life came
It's
in.
true.
And but if you look across the continent, it was still the High Life era.
Yes, it was.
You know?
Yeah.
So the Hip Life was the revolution that was started from Ghana.
Yes, and I must actually give Reggie Rockstone his flowers.
Yes. So a lot of stuff was going on with the young people, hip hop, hip life, and all of that. And it was like, wow, this is really vibrant.
Right.
And we're going on our growth. So when you saw that, it was like he came home and said, something really interesting happened today. These artists were arguing who was the best. So why don't we organize an award ceremony like called the Ghana Music Awards, like the Grammys?
My goodness.
That would,
yes,
really give the public the chance to vote for who their favorite
genuinely
artist is. I said, that sounds great. So I worked with him and I was in the media side.
Right.
So I said, okay, so I can help to package it and, let's put it together in a way. I was in touch with a lot of companies, so I could start speaking to them for sponsorship. So we worked together.
And your name at that time was solidified within that media space.
The multimedia space. I was a senior events executive then.
Oh, wow.
No, actually, I was a promotions manager because I had been promoted from Joy FM. I had been sent to Kumasi to set up Love FM.
Oh, really?
I came back as a promotions manager. So I was actually one of the people who set up Love FM in Kumasi.
Oh, wow.
So when it was time to set up Love FM, GHOne gave me the opportunity.
Fantastic.
And I was only girl in the team then.
I was going to ask you.
And I was the one who was asked to go to Kumasi to set up Love FM.
So clearly they knew exactly what you could bring to the team.
Yes, definitely. So I set up Love FM's marketing. I was in charge of the sales and marketing manager. So I was in charge of setting up the sales and marketing department. I went there with one gentleman called Nyama Asian Family. He was a general manager.
Okay.
And I was a sales manager. So the two of us together set up the station.
Fantastic.
And then I recruited all the marketing executives and taught them, trained them.
So you gave them you've kind of given them the footprint, really, the DNA of Love FM.
Love FM, yeah.
That's
so I did
wonderful.
that for about a year or two, and then I came back to Accra to get married.
Okay.
And
So you married here.
Yes,
you married. Okay,
I married
lovely.
him here.
Okay.
And while I was there, once I got married, I also said I wanted to go back to uni. Because don't forget that my uni had been truncated.
Yes, exactly.
So there was still this
unfinished
business, So I said no, I had to go back. So I started. I applied to the University of Ghana, Legon, and I started going to school. So I was married.
Wow.
I was working full time at Joy FM. And in going to full-time school as well.
So at that young age, you were about...
I was juggling. This is around 25, 26.
Goodness.
Yeah, I was juggling all of that, And it was around that time that, but it was my academics was suffering because of all of that work and all of that. So when we started discussing the Ghana Music Awards and all of that, and he already had the business, the advertising company was already running, the production company was already running with the agro and all of that. So he really needed somebody to come and drive the Ghana Music Awards.
Okay.
So I then resigned from multimedia, from Joy FM.
Right.
And joined him.
Right.
So that's when we set up the company called Charterhouse.
So where did the name Charterhouse come from?
Oh, sorry. The name Charterhouse came from we first of all wanted to be a house because that's what we wanted to be. A house of creativity.
Right.
And then Charter was from the fact that we wanted our services to be our services for how do I call it? We were for hire. Basically, so it's like chartering. Chartering.
A service.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're a creative house for charter, basically.
Lovely. Okay,
yeah.
I got it.
That's how but we didn't know that the name was actually such an institution because later on we realized that there were so many other, like the Charterhouse School in the UK.
Oh, really?
Charterhouse this and all of that.
Okay.
But we actually.
But did you start it?
Yeah. We put a name together. No, not. I mean that's a school that exists for about 100 years.
Oh, okay.
So
in the UK.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
But then we we formed the name
Right.
Charterhouse as in
Right.
a services for charter and then a house of creativity.
Okay.
Basically, so that's how the name was formed.
Okay.
So we formed the company, and then we launched our first event, which was the Ghana Music Awards.
Okay.
And that became a hit, basically. So
This is perfect because this leads into
Yeah.
my next question, which I'll probably just want to expand a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you're saying that, so yourself and your husband started Charterhouse.
Yes.
And I understand it was from a single Accra office.
yes,
Right.
Was in the Accra office.
And then, of course, that's where the Ghana Music Awards started.
Yes.
So, how I would like people to know how expensive is it for something like this to run? Because back then, is it 2000s?
Yeah, 2000.
2000, right. I know the cost of things will have, of course, quadrupled by then, but I'd like people to really understand what goes on, what goes into organizing such an event and an iconic event. I know you do many other things, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
But with regards to the TGMAs,
Yes.
how much of a heavy lift is it?
Well, just like any projects, once you are able to conceptualize it and then to package it in a way that you can sell its value to corporates, then you're able to raise sponsorship to help you to make the event happen.
But this is what I really want young people to...
So you have to have an idea first, and you have to be able to present the idea sell the idea and sell the value of the idea and what people stand to gain from being part of it. So you have to engage across various stakeholders. You have your sponsors, you have the industry. We had to sell the event to the industry.
Because they can be quite skeptical,
Yes.
I can imagine.
Oh, they were very skeptical. Oh,
Who gave you the biggest headache? Spill the beans.
We had to literally go round the country speaking to all the top musicians. I had to speak to Kojo Intri. I went to see Daddy Lumba. I went to see Rexoma,
Wow.
Amanziba.
Gosh, the legends.
All the top legends, because they were the ones in the scene. As for the young ones, they were happy to
be on stage
video
and-
but there was the older ones that needed convincing.
Convincing.
Yes. And they were very, very skeptical.
Okay.
I remember. And I kept telling them that, listen, we are marketing professionals. We know how to brand and how to package. And by the time we are done with this event, you will not even believe it. So believe in us. See what we've done with the program Agro. See how we've been able to build it into this national roadshow that moves around the country, So we can do this. Just come on board with us. So we had to sell it.
Right, I can
so
imagine.
when you have an idea, you package it. You have to sell it.
Yeah, and be passionate about it.
Be passionate about it, believe in it, and sell it. So you're able to sell it to your stakeholders, because they have to buy in it, believe in you, and then you can move it forward. So the same way, after the stakeholders, we had to look for sponsorship, because we needed sponsorship to make it happen. So I had to go to the various companies, introduce the project to them, and show them the value they were going to gain from being part of it. And the main value is you're connecting with the passion of the people. You have to, marketing is all about connection, connection and creating memories that people will remember your brand and associate your brand with, and build some equity for your brand. So I had to go out myself and all around and basically sell that to them. So we got a few sponsors on board, and we were able to do the first edition. Of course, apart from that, you have to also look for media partnerships. So we partnered with GTV at the time.
Okay.
And the first edition, we brought in, apart from the musicians, we also had to work with the industry technocrats, if I should say,
Okay.
the professionals in the industry, the sound engineers and all of
Right.
that. We had to bring them all together and put a production crew together.
And did they all understand and appreciate what it was that you were
They
trying
were
to
all
build?
really excited because, again, they had seen what we had done with Agro. So they knew that we had the production prowess and we had the energy and the passion to be able to do it. So once we were able to put together, assemble the whole team, then we did the first edition, and it was amazing. The first edition was done live on TV. First edition, our first live production.
Wow.
Live on TV, and it just went pop, pop, pop,
Really?
pop, pop. There was no gap. There was no technical
Interesting.
delay, nothing. So
And did it start on time? Did it start on time?
Started on time. And by the time the event was over, the whole nation was like, "Wow."
Where
what
was it?
That?
Where was it?
This was in the year 2000.
But physically, where was it? It was at GTV.
It was on air and live on TV and from GTV.
But the physical location was where?
It was at the National Theatre.
National Theatre.
The National Theatre.
Wow, what an iconic
It was the
place
first,
to
the
also.
first one was iconic, and that set the bar really high. And then we built on from there. And so from there we went on to now create other platforms. We did I think we created Miss Malaika.
Of course.
Miss Malaika Ghana was a beauty pageant, but we decided at the time, that was when reality TV had started. So, and there were a lot of other beauty pageants, but we said we would make ours a reality TV show. So the Miss Malaika Ghana was the first reality TV show on Ghana TV.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
I must admit, it was different.
Amazing. And
I think the girls were also different.
The girls were awesome. They were different, and the locations were in Trasaco. Were just really like top level, And we just approached it completely differently. So the creativity was there, and the quality and class was there. And in doing so, we were also stretching. We were creating excitement in the creative industry because
it was a buzz.
Yeah, there was a buzz because people had gone to school, performing arts, etc. NAFTI, but what were they doing with those skills
after?
It's true. So there were not enough platforms engaging them and even challenging young creatives to explore and discover their talents. So platforms like this got them. That gave them the opportunity to test, to challenge, and learn some of the things. Sometimes they came to us from NAFTI, like maybe being told to take a camera video like this.
Yes.
And we say, no, lie on the floor, take it from up.
Right.
Like, no, that's not what we're taught. Like, no, forget that. This is what we want. So we were just disrupting the whole.
They were unlearning.
They were unlearning the old things. We're disrupting them with innovations, new ways of storytelling, etc. This was way before all the social media started. We were doing all those disruptions on TV with our platforms.
So with that, so based on where we are at that time, the Stars of the Future would also
came out. That came out of that again.
That was also
we saw what was happening with music talent shows around the world. That was when Idols had started, and it was a big rave. So why don't we also do that for Ghana? Because Ghana, of course, the music industry also was booming.
Yes.
So let's create an opportunity to discover young talents. So we actually started. The Stars of the Future was supposed to be a full performing arts talent show. So we started with dance. The first edition had dance, had comedy,
it was
and
a mixture,
music,
wasn't it?
So we had competitions along those three areas, and I can say that some of the top Ghanaian comedians that came out that we currently have on our scene were nurtured through the Stars of the Future.
Fantastic.
Yes. So we contributed to the comedy scene there, and then we did the music as well and dance. But after that, it was a stretch for us running 3 different categories.
It's a lot.
It was a lot for us. The funding was not stretching that far. The team was too tired. So we said, let's just focus on the music. And then that would also be a pipeline into the Ghana Music Awards.
Because I even recall Irene Logan was on Stars of the Future.
The first edition was won by Irene Logan.
Yes.
And Efia Jane at the time was the second or third runner-up or so.
Yes.
Yeah. So we thought that they would. We thought that she was talented.
They were. They were amazing.
She was talented.
They were amazing.
So we should put the two of them together.
Right.
So we created a group called Irene and Jane.
Yes.
And we actually worked. We produced their first project for them. We got a lot of collaborations across Africa, and just to push them up. And that was actually that was one of the ways we wanted to encourage African music that would appeal
transcend across
Africa.
the continent.
So we said to them, you must sing in English or Pidgin so that you
Right.
can go beyond Ghana.
true, because
at
a lot
that
of our
time,
artists-
a lot of that was local
It was.
language. Even the hip life rap was
was.
heavily in
It
Tree
was.
or the local dialect, and we felt that would not travel beyond Ghana as much.
Agreed.
So that album was a major production, and if you play that album up from now, you would even hear the song, the quality of the song, the
They
production.
were amazing
They
artists.
were amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, and they all went on subsequently to create their own careers. All these platforms were just opportunities to just give creatives opportunities to just shine and to exhibit their talents, and then to grow from there and empower them. Ghana Music Awards, I mean, as soon as you win Artist of the Year, your career trajectory just
Goes through the roof.
through the roof, and that has helped a lot of young musicians find their feet, and because they work so hard, invest so much in the music, and that accolade that is vested on them as a winner in this category, in that category, even as a nominee. You see, every industry has a CV.
Of course.
You've gone through a process, and you can now do a profile and mention, I've done this, I've done that, I've achieved this, I've achieved that. So what is your profile as a musician? What do you have to your name? What do you have to your credit? When you do a discography, you should be able to say that, oh, I was a nominee, I was nominated,
which is a big
here,
deal.
there, I won this award, there. So that's what platforms like the Ghana Music Awards do for the musicians. It allows them to build up their discography. It puts them on an international stage where their craft is shown to the whole world, because we do it live on TV.
Yes.
And then on YouTube.
Right.
And then on DSTV across Africa as well.
Okay.
So people get to see what we're doing. And also it challenges us in terms of our production capabilities.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of skills acquisition and skills transfer. When we felt that we didn't have the level of skills that we needed to achieve the quality of production that we needed, we had to go to South Africa to bring in higher level,
like people who have a different
skills.
experience and skills. So are you still doing that now?
Not as much as before, but there was a period, about 10 years, where we were bringing in South Africans to work,
technical
stuff, to work with our production team.
Okay.
So there was a lot of skills transfer.
Got it.
The production team were trained by working with these people.
Okay.
And year on year, and a lot of them have gone on to set up their own technical production companies. There was a time we had one lighting director come and reside in Ghana for a year.
Oh, really?
About 2 years. Yeah. Just to train
but that's
the young
great.
people, in lighting and lighting design and all of that, because we really didn't have institutions that were training people
to that level.
Yeah. For live show production.
Right.
And so we were really pushing the boundaries,
Yes.
of technical production, of all of those
Brilliant.
creative expressions. We were at the forefront, pushing all those boundaries. I can tell you that the history of events industry in Ghana can be mirrored against our history.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Because once I'm sure they saw your technical
because
levels.
we were always pushing the bar. If there's a new technology, we would introduce it. We'd be the first to introduce it. We're always looking for what's new, what can we bring in to change the look and the feel of all of that. Because when we started, there were no suppliers, there were no vendors,
in Ghana.
No technical vendors. I mean, very few.
Right.
We had just a few in sound.
Okay.
But in lighting,
which is critical, and sound. Sound.
Sound. We had sound.
Okay, but lighting.
was non-existent. Even the big stages, all the technology was not available. So we had to bring in we've had to bring in equipment from Nigeria by road.
Wow.
We've had to bring in from Cote d'Ivoire. I mean, you talked about the big concerts that we're doing with Shaggy and all of those. Shaggy's concert production, the whole production had to come from Nigeria.
Oh, really?
Was it from Togo? Some came from Togo, some came from Nigeria.
So it was a West African
West African production, because we had to bring them, because we couldn't get them in Ghana.
I see.
We didn't have the big stages, the big lighting, even fireworks. Fireworks had to the big fireworks, pyrotechnics had to come from Nigeria, just to create a wow.
Yes, because
effect.
that's what people remember.
Yeah.
How it made you feel, and
So we had to really push, the boundaries in everything that we did, and we were basically we were the pace setters in that
Yes.
space. So when technology changed from the banners and the printing to the LED screens, we were the first to bring in. We had to start bringing in from Nigeria first. Then we now began to import ourselves. So we found ourselves having to stock up on logistics,
Right.
on technical production logistics. So we had to bring in stages, lighting, screens,
And I can imagine
and all of that, because
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, so we had to invest in a lot of production gear, because the level at which we wanted to operate, there were no suppliers and vendors in Ghana. But we thank God that now the market has opened up.
has.
People have seen the way. We
Yes.
show people the way.
Yeah.
They've been able to appreciate that there's an opportunity here for business.
Yes.
So now we have a lot of lighting suppliers. We have a lot of screen suppliers.
Yes,
We have
yes.
a lot of, but in the days of old,
It was
I mean,
really
you
far in
could only
between.
get them from Charterhouse. You could only get screens from Charterhouse. You could only get certain kind of lighting, the moving heads and
Yes.
intelligent lighting. You could only get them from Charterhouse, because we're the ones who were bringing them in for our shows.
Right.
For our shows. We're doing all the big shows and all of that.
Clearly from the start, yes, it's a Ghanaian run, because I'm sure it's registered in Ghana. But the fact that it's still a Pan-African company by the sounds of it, with regards to getting, talent and getting equipment and
yes.
things like that. So
Yes.
from the start,
Yeah.
you could essentially say that it's a Pan-African
It is.
agency or
Yes,
company.
Yes, we are a Pan-African agency. As companies began to see what we were doing with our own events and our own platform, they began to approach us to do events for them. So that's how we began to work for corporate Ghana. We work for clients like Unilever, Guinness.
Yes, I'd like to know a bit
and
more about
all
that.
the big organizations, international organizations, World Bank, UN.
Okay.
All of them. We've done several events for them. In fact, we probably have done over like 10,000 events.
My goodness.
Corporate events.
Okay.
I mean, just
So this is conferences.
conferences.
Okay.
So what we did was we now set up a separate unit for, we call it Charterhouse Business.
Okay.
And that deals with the business events, like the MICE events, the meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions.
Okay.
We have a unit that handles that specifically. We've done events like Afri-Exim Bank AGM. We've done African Development Bank AGM. We've done a lot of Agraf Forum.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've
that was
heard
a
of.
big conference that was done, the Green Revolution.
Yes, I think I remember
yeah,
that.
we did that as well. So we had a lot of big conferences and exhibitions, and then we do a lot of product launches, corporate banquets,
Okay.
dinners, experiential market activations.
Wow.
We've actually traversed the whole country selling
Great.
and activating for fast FMCGs.
FMCGs, yeah.
Yes, and so we have a unit that does that. The Charterhouse Direct that handles experiential events. We have Charterhouse Corporate that handles corporate events, and then we have Charterhouse Minds that handles the meetings and conferences and exhibitions and all of that. And so that's one side of the business that people don't know, because it's done business. It's like a B2B.
Yes,
And
yes.
then the public events are the ones that put
Everybody-
us out there, because we have to announce it and promote it
Got
to
it.
the public and all of that. So if you work at Charterhouse, you have this whole broad experience, never a dull day.
I can
Because
imagine.
1 minute you are working in a marketplace, you are doing an activation in the mall. The next minute you are doing a banquet, high level banquets,
Right.
dinner. The next minute you are doing a concert, festival.
Which
The
one
next
is
minute-
harder? Which one?
There's nothing like a small event.
Charterhouse?
It's not like a small
Because
event, because
you go
it
through the
requires
same
the same
process.
process, and the attention to detail is critical for any type of event. So there's nothing like it. But then, of course, I mean, the big ones are harder, because I mean, we have to deal with, if you're doing a festival, like where we've had the international concerts with the international artists. It's a whole different level. You have to manage the artist itself,
Yes.
the artist himself or
Yes.
herself, and then you have to also manage the production They have to do your promotion to make sure that you are promoting the artist, the act, the concert properly to make your money. And then you also have to now manage the crowd and safety,
Which
and
is
all of
critical,
that.
critical.
And we've done all these shows at the stadium. We've done Jay-Z. We've done
Yes, I was
Chris
actually there for
Brown.
them. Yes.
You were there?
I was. I was there.
Okay.
I think the Jay-Z was at the conference center.
Yes, we did Jay-Z at the conference
And
center.
then
We
Chris
did Chris Brown
Brown
at the
was-
stadium.
Yes,
You at the stadium?
I was there.
So we had Chris Brown at the stadium. We had Akon.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done all of that.
Yeah.
We've done Busta Rhymes.
Right.
Yeah, we've
Right.
done Boys to Men.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've done all the big shows, the big concerts, etc. And so we've basically done the full spectrum. And another interesting thing that you may not know about us is that we were the founders of GHOne Television.
Oh, wow.
We set up GHOne Television because we had a strong audiovisual production unit as well. And at some point, we were the largest independent television producers. We had about 8 titles that we were producing every week.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, so we had a full audiovisual setup, producing different titles. We had Guess Who's Coming for Dinner. We had
yes.
Miss Malaika. We had Master Sports. We had Game TV. We had Rhythms.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
we had
yes,
and,
I remember.
and through all these platforms too, we kept discovering new personalities.
Yes,
For example, Jocelyn Duma was discovered on Rhythms.
Yes.
She was a first presenter for Rhythms along with Chris
Atto. Yes, that's right.
And we've worked with Van Vika. We've worked with so many of them on the TV production. So
How amazing
when
that
it got
is.
to a point when we had so much of the TV productions going on, the next thing was, let's get into TV.
Right.
So we went for a TV license. We set up GHOne. We ran it for about 3 to 4 years, and then we sold it off.
Okay.
So we could concentrate more on content. That's when the whole world was going towards content,
Okay.
content production, and not so much as owning the
actual
medium. So we said that we're going to focus on content production. So we let go the TV station and then moved more into content production.
I'm intrigued because I thought I knew a lot of your your business assets, but I'm really intrigued because yourself and your husband are juggling all of these balls, and clearly you're successfully keeping them up, floating.
Yes.
I would like to know, how do you both work with your personalities and your different cultures in such an industry that is changing constantly? Something is, 1 minute it's hot, next minute it flops.
Yeah.
How do you both work as a couple, especially pertaining to your different, cultural differences?
Yeah. Well, when it comes to cultural differences, I would say that my husband is fire and I'm ice.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
He's fire. He's got the Nigerian aggression and all of that. And I'm the chill one. Okay, cool. Okay.
We could do this.
Cool, calm, and collected.
Right.
So I think it's been a good balance.
I can imagine.
Even at work, I mean, we would probably all do the brainstorm together and come up with the ideation. But when it comes into the implementation or the operations, he would go more with the technical and creative direction.
Okay.
I would go more with operations and business development.
Got it.
So that was basically, so I'm more client facing.
Got it.
And making sure that the work is getting done.
Yes,
and
the finer details.
More at the technical, because a lot of the work we do is very technical. Technical production is number one. We have the whole stage lighting, technical production.
So does he have that background? What's his background? So
he's self-taught.
You're joking.
He's self-taught. He's a finance person. I mean, his background is finance.
Wow.
But he's so technically minded that he does stage design. He leads our creative direction. He's a creative director. He's a creative and technical director.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Okay.
On the daily.
Okay.
In the company, that's what he does on the creative and technical direction. He can do all this big set designs you see for our productions. Ghana Music Award. He's there with them doing everything.
I must admit, the production level for the last one
technical,
was
he's the person leading and driving it. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, and I'm more on the protocol, client management, audience.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you're both able to
Yeah.
have that balance.
Yes.
And so what has he taught you and vice versa with regards to his fire, his drive? What are there things that you've learned from him based on?
What I've learned from him, I've learned his astuteness. He's very his business sense is very sharp. Very
Nothing-
sharp
nothing gets
business-
past him, huh?
Very sharp business sense, and also very numbers driven.
Okay.
Yeah, very numbers driven. It must make sense financially. You know, where
That's
some
our
of it,
brothers.
I would go with passion.
Yes.
Oh, it's nice. We should do it.
I
To
feel-
add this, I feel it's always like, no, what are the numbers saying? Let's go
Yes.
back to the books.
Yes.
The numbers, always numbers driven. And I think that has given us
That's
the
a
growth
great partnership.
that has brought about the growth that we've experienced over the years. And if you have somebody who's always keeping an eye on the bottom line, even to a point of irritation, you know,
I don't want to hear
because
it, but
we
it makes
creative,
sense.
so yeah, we want to do this, and it's nice, and it's nice to have, and no, it must make sense. It's too out of budget. Is this? Is that? You know, so he kind of always makes sure that we are always keeping.
So clearly
Yes.
that Niger, Ghana, the temperaments
The dynamics
is fantastic.
Wonderful, yeah,
It's fantastic.
wonderful dynamics, yeah.
So piggybacking on that, my husband's Kenyan.
Okay.
I'm Ghanaian, and your husband is Nigerian. I would like to just ask you just to expand a little bit on whether it's Pan-African couples or, you know, how it's important for Africans to really try and understand each other, you know, because currently, you know, we're in a situation where there's a lot of issues and tensions in South Africa with other African brothers and sisters that reside there. And I would like your take on it. I'd like to understand.
I mean, it's so
your take.
sad what's going on in South Africa because our business as Charterhouse has grown a lot because of collaboration with South Africa.
Right.
Remember I was mentioning to you about the technical skills
Indeed.
and technical collaborations that we had with them. There was even a time we brought in Umoja.
Oh,
Umoja.
yes.
We brought Umoja to Ghana back to back for about 5 years.
That was quite some time.
Yes.
I remember.
We've had to bring the whole cast of our 35 actors and actresses to perform at our national theatre as a residency for 5 years back to back. We brought them, so we have really strong ties with South Africa. We've done a lot of technical collaborations with them. We've even our Miss Malaika delegates. We've done several trips to South Africa for tourism. And South Africa is a big place for tourism for us. So we are quite sad what is going on now, because now we feel that we will not feel safe there. And it's such a bummer because it was such a great collaboration, the exchange of ideas and all of that. And the world is becoming a global village.
Indeed.
And we have to see, we have to look beyond our borders to see how we can be part of a bigger world. And for me, I don't see myself as a Ghanaian. I see myself as an African.
And I think also that's why we're quite passionate, particularly you, with regards to Creatives Connect Africa.
Yes.
When we met in Lagos.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's, you know, making sure that we're bringing
the
African
African
creatives
creatives together.
exactly across
because
the continent.
South African creative, if you're able to sell your works across Africa, that's millions of people. If your music is being streamed across Africa, being downloaded across
Huge
Africa,
market.
that's huge market, huge industry. So we should begin to think beyond our borders. We should be able to think beyond our borders.
Great. You've also said that Africa has never lacked talent.
Never.
And so it's only for institutions to really try and harness it and try and find it. And so you've brought a lot of structures together in order to find those creative individuals. But what do you think is still missing at the moment?
As a creative in Africa, it's very difficult. But still, a lot of people have been able to thrive. And it is my desire that before I lay down my boots in the industry, that I'm able to contribute to the creation of, or the growth or establishment of a creative ecosystem, and in a way that will create an opportunity or an environment for young creatives coming up to thrive. So we set up the Charterhouse Creative Africa Foundation.
Great.
To be able to deal with these ecosystem issues, because we realize that Charterhouse is a business, it's a commercial entity. So we are just business minded, but there's this thing lacking in the industry that we want to be able to help correct and make the industry a better place for future creatives. The ability for the creative industry to employ is huge, because have you watched the movie? And when the movie is over, you see the long list of credits that flow after.
Indeed.
Those are all the people who have been employed from that one movie.
And it was an hour and something minutes. Yeah.
So you can imagine an event. Any event has a whole crew behind making it happen. There's the work that is done before the event, and I said that the event
production.
is the only event in the event industry. Probably is the only one, maybe apart from construction, where there's you use both brain and brawn. Because you will spend months.
Yes.
Look at the theater scene in the Western world. I mean, you can go to a theater and there's a production every night. Every night is a production in several theaters. Do you know how many creatives have been hired?
Employed.
One production is about 100. If I'm talking about production, being about 100 and one, maybe a theater production, maybe about 200 people every night are working. Can you imagine? That's income. That is employment, and it's just through creative. Don't forget that people pay for leisure. That's where we sit.
It relieves our stress.
People pay for leisure after you've satisfied your basic needs of food, clothes, and shelter. The next thing is you are looking to live.
Enjoyment.
Yes. So you spend on leisure, because all work and no play makes
it's
what?
It's true.
Makes Jack a dull boy.
Very true.
Or Jill a dull girl.
Exactly. It's true.
So
and
people spend on leisure. So we have to provide that leisure, and that's a space in which we sit.
And of a good quality.
Of a good quality. Because people want quality, So we need spaces for people, for creatives to exhibit their talent and their skills. And that's another place that we've also invested in. When we talk about investing in the ecosystem,
True.
We have invested in 2 event venues.
Right, yes.
We have the Grand Arena at the premises of the Accra International Conference Center. And then we have the Palms Convention Center at the La Palm Beach Hotel.
They're beautiful.
Because we realized again that for what we do, we had to have some degree of control.
2019, 2 of our favorite artists, Shatawale and Stoneboy, they had a bit of an altercation.
Yeah.
Of course, that's water under the bridge now.
Yeah.
But looking at it from a powerhouse such as Charterhouse, yourself, your team, your husband, when you saw that happening on stage, I would really want you to share with young people with regards to what you saw and whether it was something that completely broke you at the beginning. How were you able to bounce back from that? Because clearly TJMAs is growing bigger, better, from the years gone on from that. But I would like the audience to actually know what was going on through your mind.
When you're telling a story that spans 27 years, there would always have to be one point which was like your lowest.
And
that was our lowest point.
Wow.
Where I thought it was our 20th anniversary.
Oh my goodness.
That was when we had pestered government for space to set up this venue, and we had finally gotten it. We had the approval about 10 days to the event. Can you imagine? So we had to rush
juggle
to set this place up for our 20th anniversary. We had invited all people from all over the world, including Our Lady Kanya King of blessed memory.
Lord.
Yeah, she was a special guest of honor for the event.
May her soul rest in peace.
Oh
gosh. And so you really had dignitaries.
We had dignitaries. We were, the biggest show of it's
like the Crown.
The Crown.
20 years.
20 years.
Okay.
And the show was proceeding smoothly. Then we just saw this crowd moving on stage and something and a gun and all of that. They were like, what's going on? We were shocked, but
who were you sat next to when that happened? I
can't even remember where I was. I think I was in front. I was watching the show.
Watching the show
by somebody. Yeah, I think it was a minister, one of the ministers or so. And the gun went off, and everybody was helter skelter. But I just thank God that we were able to contain it and there were no casualties.
Primarily.
There were no casualties.
We
one.
thank God for
Two,
that.
we were able to contain it. We had security on ground.
Of course.
So when that happened, obviously they moved on to stage to control the scene.
I remember watching
it. They escorted the culprits off the stage.
Okay.
And we took a little break to calm everybody down and to be sure that there was no calm had been restored.
Indeed.
And people stayed. A few people left,
right?
But majority of people stayed, and we were able to get the show back on the road to conclude it, to bring it to this end. But I wasn't able to announce the winner of the topmost category because the two artists in contention were the ones who had created that problem, and we were not sure what was going to happen in the audience after. So we just, up to now, we haven't announced. So that's the only year in which we haven't announced the artist of the year.
Well, you could tell me behind stage who the artist was.
I think at our 30th anniversary, which is 3 years down the line,
I think so.
We probably will do that announcement.
I think so. We are so proud of the work that yourself, your husband, your entire team has been able to share with us in Ghana, in West Africa, and around the continent. So thank you so much. And we definitely will be speaking again soon.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So the next session will be on just the creative sector.
That's right.
Just a conversation about the creative sector.
Perfect.
And the opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.